Welcome to Celine Science for Everyone. My name is Roger, I'm a scientist living in Montreal, and at least once a week we try to talk about science that may interest you. Hi, today I'm going to talk about a Sci-Hub, also known in proper English as Sci-Hub. Sorry, I'm Spanish. A Sci-Hub is a pirate website that posts papers that are behind a paywall. So currently they are being sued in many countries, but one of them is really interesting, India. Elsevier and other journals are suing a Sci-Hub because they consider that Sci-Hub threatens the integrity of science and also the security of journals, universities, and is also undermining intellectual property. Why this case is really interesting? Because in India there is one case in which intellectual property can be bypassed if this is for educational purposes. And that's precisely why Sci-Hub and its creator are going to defend themselves for the first time in India, because they think they can win the case. But in order to understand the relevance of these accusations and what the Sci-Hub does, we have to explain how publishing works in science. Scientists work for several years in a project, and then when they have unraveled a mystery of nature, what they do is they create a document that contains all the information that they have compiled through the years, and then they submit it to a journal. And then this journal, what does is send it to other scientists that are specialists in the same field in order to suggest corrections or possible improvements of this document. It goes back to the original authors, and they introduce the corrections, and then they submit it finally to the journal. They pay quite a bit of money, we're talking about thousands of American dollars, and then this paper is accepted and published in order for other scientists to read. Important to keep in mind, the money that the original scientist pays to the journal doesn't go to the other scientists that have reviewed the paper. This industry moves billions of dollars, and these are scientific articles that they have been paid by the scientists now are behind a paywall, so it means that any reader that wants to have access to this information have to pay. There is an exception. It's when we publish in open access journals. These open access journals, we have to pay, okay, normally more money when we publish a paper, but any reader doesn't have to pay. It's completely available for everyone. We have to say one thing, obviously, is that with the laws in hand, Sci-Hub is doing an illegal thing. Okay? It's taking something that is behind a paywall and then making it accessible for everyone without pay. But the arguments that Elsevier and other companies are using are not true. If they say, okay, this is our property, and then they are stealing our property, I will not say anything. But they say that making knowledge accessible for everyone without paying threatens science. Science will never be threatened by knowledge being accessible for people, because science is based in sharing the knowledge. And there are two initiatives that clearly shows that having science not behind a paywall do not threaten the science, nor the quality of the science, nor the review of the articles. First, as I explained before, the journals that are open access. These journals can be read by everyone. They are not behind a paywall, and the quality of science is really high. And second, there is a really good initiative going on for several years, that is archives. These archives, like bioarchives, is a repository of papers that have not been peer-reviewed. In some cases, these papers are not really good, but in most of the cases, the quality of these papers is really similar before and after the peer review. What these companies are doing are not defending science, are defending their own business. And that's something really important to keep in mind. I think, personally, that science should never be behind a paywall. We should make science available for everyone, because knowledge is good. I hope that we reach a moment in which all the scientific knowledge is accessible and not behind paywalls, But until then, we will have to keep on looking for ways to have access to the papers legally if it's possible.